where do I even start? Guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Aoife. It's nice to meet you. So this isn't usually my setup. I'm usually actually the other way around, but I just wanted to come on here and give you all a quick update. So I haven't really been posting on my channel that much, and that is for a few reasons. The main reason is my house almost burned down. So I don't really know how to, I came on today to kind of give you a story time about how this happened, and kind of give you and then move on to like an update of like where I am now and stuff. So this story actually starts, today's the Friday the 5th. This story actually starts on, it all happened on Tuesday the 2nd, but it actually kind of starts on Monday the 1st. So starting off on Monday the 1st, I woke up at approximately 7 AM, and I left my house at 7:40 to collect my nanny, and I brought her to Dublin Hospital, which is about a 4-hour drive, well 3-hour drive, but I gave myself 4 hours just so we could like stop, have a toilet break, get some food, and then be early for our appointment. So I left my house at 7:40 that morning. My boyfriend, who's staying with me due to lockdown, also left at 7:40 because he decided he would just get up early and leave with me, and he would just go to work. So my mum left that morning at 8 o'clock. So she always goes to work at 8 o'clock, so that's nothing new for her. But I just wanted to give context to the story. So we had all left really early in the morning. I came home, my dog was actually, I usually spend most days with her, but my dog was actually, she's a house dog. So she was actually in the house all that day, and my boyfriend came home at about 12ish, half 12, and he brought her out to go to the toilet, he brought her for a walk, and then I came home at, I think it was like 3:30. Does that calculations? No, it might have been like 4 when I came home. But my mum comes home from work then. On Monday is her really long day, and she comes home at 5:30. So that was Monday, everything was fine, we went to the hospital. So on Tuesday morning, my boyfriend didn't have to start work at 8 o'clock today. This was his a sleep-in day, he calls it, but he actually started work at 10 o'clock. So he slept in until 9:30. My mum went to work at 8 o'clock as usual, and I didn't have work. My work is closed due to lockdown, so I was actually staying in bed. I had no alarm set, because I usually just wake up at like 9:30 or 8 o'clock, and I just kind of like sit in bed, go on my phone for a while and get up. So this morning, Tuesday morning, my mum actually, we have a stove fire, so like an open fire, some people like, I don't know, like we call it a stove in Ireland, a fireplace some people call it, but like I'm not sure. Most of my viewers are from America, so we like have like an actual fire, because I know a lot of Americans and stuff, they don't have actual fires, but we have an actual fire. I've said it loads of times, and my mum has to empty the ashes, so the like residue of the fire each night. Every morning she empties the ashes, and it's really hot because it's still light. We have our fire like lighting constantly, so she uses a fabric glove that came with the fire, and it's fire resistant, all that kind of stuff. But she took it out with the thing and she emptied it outside in our bin, and then she comes in every morning and she puts this glove into our cupboard, our cupboard under the sink, so then it's kind of like easy for her to access every morning. So she does this every morning. She's done this every morning in our old house and in our new house. We've lived here for about 6 years, I think, or I don't know, it's actually been more. It's actually nearly been 10 years. So she's done this every year for like 10 years in this house. I know it's a really, it sounds actually, like when I think about it, it sounds so dangerous and so stupid, but she has done this every day for like 10 years. So this morning, she did that and she went to work. My boyfriend, as I said previously, he had his alarm set for 9:30 in the morning to get up. So normally when my mum gets up, we kind of like half wake up anyway. So I woke up at about 9:20. I didn't check the time or anything, but I had got this kind of weird smell. And sometimes when you're dealing with the fire in the morning, it does kind of give off a fresh kind of smoke smell. So I kind of like paid no heed to it at all. My bedroom door was closed, so the scent wasn't like actually that bad at all. So my boyfriend's alarm went off at 9:30. I kind of just rolled over. I was kind of like half in asleep. So he was going to change his clothes, and he opened my bedroom door. And as soon as he opened it, there was like a big gust of smoke in the hall that just gusted into our room because we had opened the door for the first time. So he alerted me. He was like, what's the smoke from? Like, what's happening? There's something really wrong. So I usually wear contact lenses, so I'm really blind. I can't see without my glasses. So I looked over at him and I couldn't see anything, like, because I was blind. So I put on my glasses, which are all on my side table, and I remember just, it keeps playing back in my mind. I put on my glasses, I looked at him, and we have like a small hallway, and my sister's door, she doesn't live here anymore, but the spare room basically is just across the hall, really close. It's a really close room, and I couldn't see her door. I couldn't see him. I couldn't, like, the smoke was so bad, and it was upstairs, and like my fire is in my kitchen. I couldn't see anything. Like I can't like get that image out of my mind. I'm like tearing up a little bit because it was so stressful when I think about it, but I can't get that image out of my mind. Like, it was so scary. So we rushed downstairs, not knowing like where the dog was, because she usually sleeps beside the fire, or else in our hall on her bed. So we had no idea where she was. Normally she would kind of alert us of these things. So another crucial part of the story is, because the weather is so cold outside, we really like to keep our electricity bills down. So we have a clothes horse. I'm not sure if like, I'm pretty sure like Americans probably don't use these. Like, I've never seen things like these. Well, sometimes I have. So we put that in front of our fire, a good like distance away from the fire, but just so the heat of the fire is drying our clothes. So my initial thought was this must have fell, the dog must have knocked it, and this was on fire. So I ran into the kitchen and everything was fine. So then I was thinking, okay, it's a chimney fire. So I first thought of calling the fire brigade. My boyfriend at this point was going around opening all the doors and windows because we couldn't breathe, we couldn't see, the smoke was so bad. And because it was a chimney fire, I was like shouting at him. I was like, don't open the windows, it'll just make it worse. You have to keep everything closed until the fire brigade gets there. So I rang my mum and I was like, Mum, there's something extremely wrong. The house is full of smoke, there must be a chimney fire. So she was actually working from 5 minutes away from my house. So she said, I'll be there in 2 seconds. So she literally got here in like 10 minutes. Like, I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she like came through, but she did. And she was home, like, it might have actually been less than 10 minutes. Like, I have no concept of time. During this time that she was gone, we stayed out of the house, because we kept the dog out of the house as well. We immediately got the dog out of the house. I just wanted to put that in there. But we kind of kept out of the house. We didn't know where the fire was coming from. The stove seemed pretty fine. Before I went out of the house, I felt the top of the wall where the chimney is going up, and that was like cold. Like it was like lukewarm. It wasn't anything to be suspicious of. I know that when there is a chimney fire, that is supposed to get like really hot. So I don't know. I knew that opening the windows and doors weren't gonna harm it, because I knew like that the chimney wasn't on fire. So we just got outside, we just waited outside, kind of just, I don't know, waited for my mum. I was so scared, I was so petrified. You couldn't even see into the house. During the 10 minutes between this time and when my mum came home, because we had all the windows open, because we had all the doors open, a lot of the smoke actually came out. So when she came home, she went in there and she opened the fire, and the fire was completely normal. It was like down, like it was completely everyday normal. So I was like, she was kind of looking at me like, what's wrong? Like, there's a smell of smoke in the house. There's not really that much smoke. Are you being dramatic? I just came home from work. I just drove over the speed limit to come home. What's wrong? And I was like, there's something on fire. Like, where is the fire coming from if it's not from the, like, I was really shocked that it wasn't coming from the fireplace. So the three of us kind of just stood in the kitchen for a moment, and she kind of just like looked over, because we have like our living room, it's all open plan. We have our living room, a conservatory, we have like a little in-between place where the fire is, and then we have our kitchen. So she just looked over at the kitchen, and under the sink the cabinet was like destroyed. It was like blown up, like melted, and it had puffed out. So she was like, I didn't even catch on to this. So she ran over and opened the cupboard, and that's when I looked over, and there was a puff of smoke that just came out of this cupboard. So this is the cupboard where we keep our fire extinguisher. This is the cupboard where we keep our cleaning detergents. This is where our water filter is. So we have just, it comes up out of our tap, and we have clean filtered water that comes out there. So this is where our water filter was. This is where our cleaning detergents, our fire lighters, our matches, like, to be honest, everything explodable and highly flammable was in this cupboard. Like, that is something that just blows my mind, because everything is flammable, and there's like 10 inches where the fire was to where all the explodable, like highly flammable things were. So that just like if it had traveled, if we didn't catch it in time, or if it had gone further on where we didn't know where the fire was, it could have completely exploded the whole house. Like, the whole room would have been destroyed. Like, the fire just would have been huge in seconds. So I'll actually put in footage of my water filter. So as you can see, the glove would have been left on the water filter. This picture is taken, actually, I think it had been like 6 hours later, or maybe 8 hours later. But we had removed everything that was on fire. The fire had quenched, and this was kind of the aftermath. So I have more footage then of after I had cleaned it. Obviously I had cleaned off all the burnt marks and stuff. The cupboard is still really damaged. The inside of the cupboard is still extremely burnt, and the electric on the water filter actually was still working when the fire was there and when we had quenched the fire. So we went into the cupboard and we plugged out the socket because it was plugged in under the cupboard. So that still works to this day, I'm pretty sure. We don't have it plugged in, so today is Friday, we still don't have it plugged in. We have rang the water filter company and they're coming on the 16th, so in like 10 days. But we're not going to be using that obviously, and we're going to get that all professionally checked out. But it's crazy to think, you can actually see in the footage, I'll show you again, but you can actually see on the footage that the fire was like so close getting to like the actual wiring of the electric device. So if that had gone a little bit further, that would have actually gone on fire and probably exploded or like burst into flames. So there's like, if you think about it, there's a possibility of like the electrical equipment going on fire. If that had gone on fire, it would have made the explosives go on fire. Or if the explosives gone on fire, which was 10 centimeters away, like 10 centimeters maximum, the electricity would explode as well. But it just came so close to completely burning down our entire house, which is mad to believe. Another thing that just blows my mind and my mind can't get over is that my boyfriend goes to work at the same time as my mother normally every day. Like this entire month, the month of January, every single day he has gone at 8 o'clock with my mum. If they had both gone at 8 o'clock, I didn't have an alarm set, I wouldn't have woken up. Like, the house wouldn't be here. Me and my dog probably wouldn't even be here today to tell this story. I just feel so incredibly, like, I don't even, like, I'm traumatized, to be honest. Like, my mom was actually burning a candle like on the Wednesday or the Thursday, I forget what day, to try and get rid of the smell of smoke in the house. And like I smelled the candle and I was like, oh my god, what's on fire? Like I'm like still on alert, like I'm still traumatized. I keep thinking like, what if this happened? What if it happened on Monday instead of Tuesday and I was gone the whole day and there was no one here at home? It was just my dog in the house. Like she would have, like I would have never forgiven myself. She's like sitting here in my room because, as I said before, my room was it had its door closed, and luckily I closed my door as soon as I went out of my room as well. And I've kept my windows open for the last like week, so there's actually no fumes in my room. There are quite still a bit of fumes downstairs in the house, especially in the kitchen and the hall. That's where the dog normally sleeps. So she's been having sleepovers in my room. So she's just looking so peaceful and cute. I wouldn't want her to breathe in any of the toxic fumes or anything. But I think it's just my mind just keeps playing over the situation and thinking like, what if it happened on Monday? What if it happened and my boyfriend went to work early in that morning? Like there's so many, like the situation is the best that it could have been. Like there could have been so many worst situations that could have come from this. And to be honest, we are actually lucky that we're here today and our house is intact and that the damage is so minor, but it could have just been so much different, and that's a thought that just I can't get out of my head. I just wanted to share the story, not even to tell, like I'm not even sure why I wanted to share the story, partly just because I can document it and partly because I just want to bring awareness to how easy these things happen. Like I always used to think, oh, you know, it happened to someone else but it probably won't happen to me, you know, that kind of mindset. I had that mindset, and putting the glove in the cupboard every day for 10 years, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. But it's just crazy to think that this is me and this is my life, and this situation almost happened to me. Unfortunately, I know and I've heard of a few people actually who had this situation but worse, and they didn't have the outcome that I did today. But you just think of those people and think like, you feel sorry for them, and you want to learn from their mistake or something, but you don't actually think it will ever happen to you until it almost does. So as I said, today is Friday. We're still trying to defumigate the house. We have a diffuser with essential oils, like trying to get a nice smell into the house, and we have aired out the house completely, so it's actually very livable right now. I think the carpet on the stairs slightly has a tinge of smoke to it, but the furniture in the living room is perfect, and everything like that. The cupboard still does extremely smell, but I think once we get rid of the water filter and get it replaced or repaired, the smell should completely go away by then. By the time we replace or repair the water filter, I think the smell should be completely gone by then, but I'm just taking precautions and I'm just weary. There's not much else I can say about that. But if you made it to this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon with a brand new video.
Be the fam, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Be the fam.